Welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode number 92. This one I get my final thoughts on Henshu Sentai Maskman. I'm also going to announce this one, what next Sentai I'm going to watch. My final thoughts on this one. It's damn good Super Sentai. There are some things basically I didn't like about it. For instance, the Energy Beast, or kind of the one to make the monsters grow. He pretty much said the same exact line every time he showed up for about 49 straight episodes. He says, "This really tires me out." He says this every time. And all the other characters, now, I should point out though, Akram, Badran, and these two only refer to are by just as his name. And Zeb, up until toward the very end, kept referring to him as Energy Beast or Kanba. But in the case of Karos, he never called for him the whole time. He just randomly shows up. All he says is, after his monster's beat, he says, "I remember this." Every time one of his monsters is beaten. Every time. I think his death was a bit odd, to say the least. I mean, he looked the most mortal of all the generals. Yeah. At least Better basically had a pretty decent finale to him. He actually had a pretty good battle. Karos basically got freaking stabbed with his own sword that just flew right on him. Yep. Also, why the heck did it take 47 episodes for Red Mask to even look for his girlfriend? Yes, he found out by episode 28. That's when he found that she was actually alive. Not only alive, but she was on ice. And yet, it took him 21 episodes to actually get her back. No, seriously. 21 episodes later, he gets her back. Now, within 5 or 6 episodes, oh no. Another problem I have with this thing is that we sit on plot threads for too long, per se. Excuse me. Take, for example, of who Zeb really is. Because, here's the thing. They hinted this in episode 11, that he's not exactly who he says he is. And then, the plot thread is sat on for 24 episodes. I do not know why in the world this is sat on here like this. It just is. And the plot thread for this is continued 8 episodes later, which is continued for about a few episodes, and then takes a break for one episode, then we have the finale. Yeah. I think the whole thing explaining him basically just took too long. That was the problem with that. I think Hazel Better's mom showed up. I mean, I like the fact about this actress. Great actress, mind you. And this is the last character I can think of that well, there's technically one more left for character she's played. Now, I knew she was going to show up here. I thought it was kind of weird, though. Her outfit was so weird. Like, it's the same exact outfit as her son wears. Except she's got a headdress. Because of course she's got to have a headdress. Because she just does. She loves having a headdress. And I think at this point in time when this thing aired, she was only 49 when this thing aired. And this was the first time she had been in Super Sentai since Sun Boken. But this time I'm like, okay, let's not cast her as a villain per se. Let's cast her as a one-shot character. A really good actress. And you cast her as a one-shot character. Maybe because it was too easy. I don't know. Maybe she wanted to do something else for a while and came back and do this. But after this particular thing, she came back for Zoo Ranger. And then she did one after this one. That was a character from Magi Ranger, the Sentai that was used for Mystic Force. Yes. I think in the case of the Rangers per se, the Red Ranger, he had a lot of focus episodes for him, and none were terrible. I actually thought his episodes were actually pretty good. Akira's are pretty good. I say the one who probably had the weakest episodes was Kenta. A lot of the time, he usually got not good episodes for him. There was like one good one, episode 11. But aside from that, a lot of the time, his episodes were not that interesting. They were just okay at best. And I think it was quite odd, though, the girls didn't get a lot to do. Here's one for you. in 51 episodes. Do you know how many times Haruka got an episode for herself? 3 times in 50 episodes. Okay, here's one for you. Memiko. How many character focus episodes did she have in 51 episodes? Like 2 at best. Yeah, seriously. Only freaking 2. I think the case of Ekram basically revealing that he was a she, even though it was quite obvious by a viewer, basically by looking at the character's face, it's clearly a woman. I think it was done very well. The fact it was kept hidden, the fact it was a man, that this is supposedly a man. And you probably think, man, it's like the Red Ranger is beating the crap out of his girlfriend and sister throughout most of this run, and it's like, oh, we don't find out they're twins until episode 28. Roughly at that point, 26 episodes since she was put on ice. And her appearances were scarce at best. This is how she's credited to appear in a lot of these episodes. A lot of the time, her appearance is very brief. It's like a brief cameo, like, oh, let's remind people that she's on ice. And I'm like, do the Rangers not care to free her? She could become a potential ally for them. Nope, we have to say that for the finale. I thought that plot there basically went way too long with her being on ice. The Wise Man character, it's like he was supposed to be like a general, and then like after a second monster's defeated, it's like never brought up again him becoming a general. Like he supposedly is made a general, and then after a second monster, he sets out no one of monsters. A lot of the time, also, this is something that, at least I've been accused of this. Oh, Chris George is basically where they don't send out where the monsters set completely at random, or like I like where at the beginning where the monsters basically had this room where all these frozen monsters are just set out one at a time. That was fine. It was there very much early on for the first like 10 episodes, and then they didn't use the room very much at all. Like the last time it showed up was probably like episode, I think it was like 35, which was I think it was like the last one focused on a Memiko. Yeah. Where the last time was shown was that monster just wakes himself up and basically volunteers to go out and take out the Maskman. Now in the case of Karos, I like the design for the character. I like the fact that he actually, well, he's not set on basically destroying the world or taking it over per se. His only goal is to kill the Maskman. That's the only goal. And a lot of the time, basically, sometimes when he shows up, like, here's the thing. First appearance, 27. Last appearance, 49. He misses about 5 episodes out of 23. This, I do not really understand why. It's like, after his first few appearances, he skips 1 episode. I mean, this is basically his run. Now, practically the only character who appears in a good chunk of basically this run is Overdrew. I mean, I think he skips like a few episodes. I think he skips. I think him along with the villain, Zeb, these two are practically here a lot of the time. Barbara, he skips 3 episodes. He's only in 45 episodes, which thinking really? Yep. Actually, it's more like 48 because I don't think he skips any episodes. No, surprisingly, he doesn't. Ingram herself, she is one of the very few, aside from the Rangers, to appear in all of the episodes. Yeah. Her assistant is kind of the same way too, except I think she did miss 1 episode. I mean, she's going to be here in 49. I think she missed 1. Okay, here we go. Deep Night Karos. 14 episodes. He appears in. These episodes he does not appear in. 30. 38 to 40. 42. 44, 45. And that's it. Yeah, seriously, that's it for the character. He comes back 46, gets killed off 3 episodes later. It's almost like, what was the point of having him around if it doesn't have him show up? Maybe the actor was busy. It's possible, to say the least, that he may have been busy. Mm-hmm. He may have been busy with other things. It's possible, but I'm kind of like, then why the heck would you have this character show up here and you don't have him appear that much? He is practically the only villain who does appear in a lot of... He has the least amount of appearances. Out of all the episodes for Maskman, he has the least amount. Oh, and here's the weird thing about it. Where, like, he is the only, like, new villain introduced. Yeah, he's the only one. I'm like, really? Lightman introduced, like, 6 new villains, aside from the original 3 or it's around. This one only had one new villain. That's it. It was kind of similar with Days of Man, where you have, like, one new villain, and at least he actually physically showed up for all the episodes he was supposed to be in. Here, it's like, oh, we have Karos, and you have there 14 episodes. I kind of wish, basically, there was an explanation of why in the world he only appeared 14 episodes. Maybe the actor wasn't available. It's possible. You could at least have him show up, and what's his motivation a lot of the time? Well, aside from trying to kill the Maskman, mostly he's just trying to kill Red Mask because he's in love with the Maskman's girlfriend. Yeah. The ninja stuff in here didn't really play a role very much. Himiko, her being a ninja, was not revealed until her very first focus episode. Yeah. Also, there were certain things that weren't explained here. Like, they do mention basically of how the commander recruited the Red Ranger, the Red Mask. But the other ones, they don't really go into detail of when he recruited these people. Not really, no. Also, and this is something interesting though, we don't have the base being invaded. And, okay, here was something else. Like, there's this side room that appears in one episode that's not associated with the Maskman headquarters room. In the side room associated with the business of the race car drivers. With the whole racing thing. And that appears for one episode. And that was it. They never used this room again for some reason. I don't know why. It's like, we gotta have one room shown a lot of the time. Heck, if you look at, let's say, my last Sentai, Live Man, at least they showed more than one room in the entire base the whole time. And the thing is, this one's like, oh, we have one room, and you have this big building, which is the Maskman headquarters. By the way, unlike a couple other Sentai I've seen, they actually have the same base the whole time. It's never destroyed. As a matter of fact, the villains don't even bother to go after it at all, which I thought that was kind of strange, because usually a lot of the time they usually try to go after the place where the heroes of the base. Like, they'll attack it, or they might destroy it like they would Sun Vulcan. Here, no, it's like they never even bothered. And they knew the secret identities, and yet they didn't have any monster try to break into their headquarters. And I'm thinking, really? In 51 episodes, not a single one of these characters ever attempted to break into the base. No one brainwashed anybody. And here's the thing about their staff. Like, aside from the commander and this one doctor that works there, who's a scientist, works the control, like, we mostly have this massive government agency known as the Light Squadron, which basically is this government agency that basically is the basis for the Maskman group. And, like, we can just see agents, like, usually one-shot characters a lot of the time. If you look at, let's say, something like, Bad Fever J, for example. That one had agents there, and they're there in the base, and they do occasionally go out in the field. But here's the thing, at least they appeared more than one person in the damn base. And here's the thing. I like the fact that they actually have their character known as the Turbo Ranger, which, by the way, that's actually the name of the Sentai that come two after this one. I thought it was also interesting to note the fact that it was a shape of a giant car, a hover car, mind you. That was a really good idea to do that. I like the design of the Go Robo, the 5 Robo. That was actually really good. I have heard the reason why the 5 is on their chest. Originally, this was going to be called 5-Man, even though there was a 5-Man later on, but that was the original name for this one. That's why the S is there, not an M, which is quite strange. They're called Maskman, and yet they have a 5 on their chest. Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. The suits were fantastic. I thought the suits looked really good. It reminds me of some stuff we would see in the 90s Sentai stuff. Yes. Well, what did I think of the Galaxy Robo, you might ask? Interesting idea for Megazord, where it transforms into a semi-truck. Now, they could be something else. For me, anyways, when I think of something, I think of Optimus Prime from Transformers. That's what I think of. And the whole backstory of this thing was that the creator, who was no friend of the Commanders, he suggested that the Rangers need a backup Megazord just in case the original one basically was not available. That heard me true here. And this is something, though, like none of the Zords are destroyed. You only get one thing destroyed for the heroes the entire time. That's the original canon that they have. Yeah, that's destroyed in episode 27. Though it takes 2 episodes after that to help they replace a weapon, which they used for pretty much the rest of the run after that. But I thought the shoot bomber thing, I thought was a really interesting idea where it's basically like a backpack and was big, humongous, hunking gun. Really cool idea. My guess is they replaced it because, and this is my personal theory, I think some of the actors maybe got tired from carrying the damn thing, so they wanted to replace it with something else, something a little more cooler, something more toy design. So, also, this was a really neat idea for the Rangers because the fact that the jet cannon can fly, it's a flying cannon. So, have the Rangers surf on the damn thing. That was a really cool idea. Despite the fact we only had 2 of them do it. I know that Red Mask did it several times. I think you know who did it was probably Black Mask. Yep. Yeah, I kind of wish, though, that more than just the Red Ranger and more than the Tetsuro and Akira, these 2 got a ton of development over the course of 51 episodes. But what about the other 3? Hikari got a little bit of development, not very much. Makio got nothing at all a lot of the time. Kenta, well, he got okay amount of development, but not as much as the other 2. It was hinted, he made from the ground. Nope. Misunderstanding. The whole thing with him becoming the Unis Knight, that I still feel as though, this even after I did that video, that I felt that storyline was rushed. Like, we introduced this thing and then we introduced something completely random. It's almost like we had 3 different writers writing the story arc, and they apparently could not communicate with each other what the heck is supposed to happen here. Yes, seriously. At least 46 was a damn good episode. I like that one. I think it's one of the more better episodes they have for this thing. In the case of multi-parters, aside from the finale, they only had surprisingly, 2 the entire time. And you're thinking, really? Only 2? Yeah, the first one they had was introduced the Galaxy Robo, and the other one focused on Akira for a few episodes, and 46 I consider that a companion episode because it helps set up the finale. I kind of think 47 was a bit of a unnecessary episode. Aside from, hey, let's give Hikari a focus episode before the finale. I kind of felt as though they had to do that so they could stretch out for 1 more episode because it leaves out an odd number to say the least. Yep. But not much else to say about Maskman. It's good. It does have its flaws, though. But as for my next Super Sentai, it's going to be Gogol V. Or Gogol 5, mind you. But that won't happen just yet. Unlike what I did with Maskman, where I started that as soon as I finished up Live Man. This one I'm not going to do it because I really want to finish up the anime we're currently working on, which is the time I got reincarnated as a slime. Yep. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for this particular review. I'm probably going to save my other videos for tomorrow because it's like at 10 o'clock and I don't know if I have enough time to do others. So I do have a few comic cores I want to do, but you know what? I might just do just one. Yep, just one. Okay. Next video. Bye.